As the clock strikes midnight, a group of inquisitive teens gather around a hastily constructed hairy ghost board, eager for an exciting paranormal experience. In the dim light, the indicators move slowly, as if manipulated by an invisible force, eventually spelling out the name of a forgotten spirit, Alistair. Their curiosity gradually turned to unease, and as the indications moved more and more swiftly, a cold wind suddenly swept across the room, blowing away the flame of the candle and giving them an eerie aura of invisible presence, as if some unnameable fear was touching their souls. A chill spread down their backs, sending shivers down everyone's spine, as if they were being watched by eyes in the darkness that came from an invisible presence creeping up on them. Strange events began to haunt the young men, from flickering lights and malfunctioning appliances to the unearthly whispers echoing through the corridors, as if an unnameable presence lurked around every corner. The disturbing odor of rotting roses gradually filled the air, each breeze carrying the smell into their nostrils, like a warning of Alistair's tragic fate. Every time night fell, the walls seemed to begin to constantly emit an evil energy that filled the entire room with an oppressive aura, as if an inevitable confrontation was about to unfold, and they could feel this evil force breeding, attempting to somehow reveal itself and make the group of young men feel true fear. One by one, the teens begin to fall into vivid and chilling nightmares, each one a vivid reflection of the horrific torture inflicted upon Alistair. These dreams distort time and reality, trapping them in a vision of pain and regret, where the boundaries between life and death gradually blur as a nightmarish picture unfolds before their eyes. In these dreams, the spectral image of Alistair emerges, a silent, pale presence permeated with a deep sadness. His eyes are filled with anger and despair, as if he is silently calling for justice, for judgment for a forgotten betrayal. Each time he appears, his presence is oppressive, as if telling these teens that they must face the crimes of the past, that they must take responsibility for those betrayals, or this nightmare will never end. These nightmares take them on a mental and emotional ordeal that leaves them feeling deep guilt and fear. In an attempt to escape the ongoing horrific harassment, one of the young men seeks the guidance of a mysterious warlock. In the shadowy room, the mysterious warlock reveals his mystical powers and knowledge of Alistair. In order to gain this mystical knowledge, the warlock makes a terrible request to perform a blood oath. Before them lay an ancient book of magic, containing records of ancient spells and rituals associated with Alistair. The young man hesitated for a moment, but under the threat of fear, he resolutely accepted this blood oath. As blood flowed through the ritual, his fate became tied to the vengeful spirit of Alistair. Before long, they begin to realize that this terrible pact opens the door to a world of darkness, inviting the forces of evil to prey on the vulnerable souls of those connected to the real world. As night falls and an aura of evil pervades them, they begin to feel the creeping approach of an invisible force, a call from the dark world, and it seems that they cannot escape the cost of this terrible pact. As the border between reality and the supernatural blurs, the group of young men realize they must confront the evil forces that have been unleashed. With an ancient spellbook and a rickety tome of magic in hand, they step into the heart of an abandoned graveyard with all the courage they can muster. There, the ghost of Alistair awaited their final showdown with a fervor. Each step was accompanied by a deep silence in the graveyard, as if death itself were watching the impending conflict. In that eerie graveyard, moonlight poured down, shrouding Alistair's ghost in a haze. His eyes were filled with endless sadness and anger, as if waiting for judgment and redemption. The group of young men clutched their books and galvanized their wills, preparing for this test that would determine the fate of their souls. Their hearts were filled with fear and hope, for they knew deep in their hearts that only by defeating the vengeful specter of Alistair could they be relieved of that dreadful destiny and put their souls at peace.